Well, hello everyone. We are getting ready for our summer walking tour season, and we're going to kick it off June 18th with what we think is going to be an amazing show. It's called Wild Wild West, the history of West Washington Street in Marquette. Now, it's kind of interesting because in the early days of Marquette, downtown basically ended at 4th Street, and there were not a lot of things going on past 4th Street as you headed out to 5th or 6th or 7th. In fact, here at the corner of 4th and Washington, where we are right now, you had St. John's Church, you had a couple of buildings, and then after that, houses. A lot of houses, and interspersed among those houses, you had grocery stores as well. In fact, as you're looking right behind me, you'll see the building that now houses Sports Rack was actually one of the first grocery stores here on Washington, and that was the Jacob Smith Market. That opened in 1870 by Jacob Smith and his brothers, and it was like all the markets back in the 1870s and the 1880s. You know, you would walk into the store, you would ask them for whatever you needed, they would put it in a little basket for you, and you'd walk away happy and well fed. One of the things we're going to talk about in the tour is that there were markets up and down the street. Buildings that used to house grocery stores on West Washington Street now house, among other things, a tattoo parlor, a pot dispensary, and a homeless shelter, showing just how much Marquette has changed over the past 150 or so years. And that change will also be evident as we head down Washington Street from 4th to 7th on this tour. Because like I said, for the first 75 years of Marquette, it was pretty sedate. Residential neighborhoods, a few grocery stores. But then, 100 years ago, something happened that changed this entire street into the street that we know now. That's one of the things we're going to talk about in the tour. We're also going to show you some amazing pictures of what used to be here. So bring your phones, because you'll be able to hold up your phone and do a then and a now, just like that. We're also going to have some very interesting tales, including, but not limited to, a guy who drove his car around Marquette for 5 straight days without sleeping. We'll talk about what at the time was supposed to be the tallest building ever constructed in Marquette. And we're going to share the story of what, as far as I know, is the only act of terrorism ever committed in the city. See, now you thought West Washington Street was boring? Trust me, it is not. And you can join us for Wild Wild West coming up June 18th. We'll meet at 6:30 at the History Center. We'll stroll down the street to 7th Street. We'll stroll back on the bike path with an extra bonus tour, by the way. Suggested $5 donation, so please, when you come, help the History Center that way. And we're going to learn a lot, and hopefully you guys will have an awful lot of fun. If you want to know more about other History Center events, like their bus tours in July and August, or even our happy hour bars of downtown Marquette and the stories you may or may not remember coming up at the end of July, just go to MarquetteHistory.org. Otherwise, we hope to see you June 18th for Wild Wild West, the forgotten history of West Washington Street.